Henderson being one of them. There are Vladdy Jr., another one. The American League MVP race is going to be awesome. And for my American League MVP this year, give me Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals to win the American League MVP award. I think Bobby Witt is already an absolute superstar in this game. Comes up, he steals a bunch of bases, he hits a bunch of homers, he hits for a high average. There's not a lot of players in the game of baseball that are true five-tool players, and Bobby Witt Jr. is one of those. I think he had an MVP type of year last year. I think he's continuing to get better and better and better. I think he plays a premier position, which will help. I think the New York Yankees will not be quite as good this year, which people say that doesn't matter. It does. If your team's performing and you're the reason for it, obviously that helps your case. But I think the Royals should be pretty good this year. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is the reason they're going to be pretty good this year. I think he could hit. I think 30-30 is easily in his future at some point. I don't know if he's going to get to 40 homers, but the guy plays a stellar defense. He's got a good arm. He can hit for average. He'll steal a bunch of bases. He can hit 30-plus homers. He's an absolute superstar, and I'm excited for Bobby Witt Jr. because 2025 is the year that he wins his first ever Most Valuable Player award. So American League MVP, give me Bobby Witt Jr. In the National League side of things, my most valuable player in the National League might surprise some people. I know what everybody's thinking, but hear me out. The National League has some exciting names. One, Ronald Acuna Jr. is coming back. He is going to be healthy early on in the season. I think he's going to be really good. I think there's Juan Soto in the National League now. You have Bryce Harper over there in Philly. In the National League West, Fernando Tatis, obviously, is a name that I think should be at the very top of the NL MVP discussion right now. Corbin Carroll, I think MVP CC is back this year, and he has a resurgence and bounces back to what he did in his first year in Major League Baseball. So, with all this said, my most valuable player pick for 2025 in the National League, give me Shohei Ohtani to go back to back to back. Shohei Ohtani is going to win his fourth most valuable player award this year. He's back on the mound this year. Around May or June is what I'm expecting. So last year, 50-50, created his own club, right? It didn't even exist. It was unfathomable that 50-50 would ever exist. There would never be a player that can hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases. It's never even been come close to. There's only been a handful of players in the 40-40 club, and they didn't get close to 50-50. Shohei Ohtani created that club. He might not run as often as he was last year because he's eventually going to work his way back to the mound, but I do think he runs more than what we saw him running when he was pitching and hitting, just because I think he figured out so much about how to steal bases. So I think those days that he's pitching, we won't see him run as much. The days he's not pitching, maybe not as much, but I do think we still see him steal a good bit of bags. So we're going to have maybe around 50 to 60 homers, around 30 stolen bases, and then he's going to get back on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers and rack up a bunch of wins and strikeouts and put up Cy Young type numbers, even though he won't pitch the full season. He won't win the Cy Young Award in 2025, but he's going to be back on the mound, and we're going to once again have the greatest player of all time doing what he does best. And that's a two-way player that can pitch the lights out and that can hit 60 homers. And we're going to see that again from Shohei Ohtani. So for me, I'm not thinking too hard about this one. And you all knew what I was going to say, but that's for a reason. You knew what I was going to start saying 3 years ago when I was really going crazy about Shohei Ohtani. I guess it was 4 years ago. I was all in on the Shohei Ohtani train, and it became, well, I wonder who Ben's going to pick. Well, guess what? There's been a reason I've been so high on Shohei Ohtani over the years. There's been a reason I've picked him to win the last 2 MVP awards. There's been a reason why he has won the last 2 MVP awards. This one's not too complicated. We have the best baseball player in history, the most talented baseball player that we have ever seen in his prime right now, right in front of us, in a big market on a great team, and he is going to once again show that he is the best player in the game of baseball, which will result in his 3rd consecutive MVP award. So in the National League, give me Shohei Ohtani to win the MVP award for the 3rd straight time. Oh, man, those are my award predictions. So Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP. Rookie of the Year, Cam Smith, Roki Sasaki. Cam Smith of the Houston Astros, Roki Sasaki of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cy Young, Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. MVP, Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles.
ドジャースの英雄、大谷翔平がまたもや見せた。2025年 MLB シーズン開幕戦でタイガース相手に5対4の劇的勝利を飾ったドジャースは、エースにして主砲の大谷が今季早くも2本目となる豪快なホームランを炸裂させ、全米の視線を独り占めにした。メジャーリーグの新たな歴史を刻む怪物が、ついに2025年の幕を華々しく開けたのである。その姿にスタジアムの観衆は狂喜乱舞し、ロサンゼルスの夜空に響く歓喜の声が止むことはなかった。この日ばかりは、大谷翔平という奇跡の存在を称える言葉が尽きることはなく、報道陣や野球評論家たちは一斉に大谷の偉業を絶賛し、史上最強、規格外の天才、人間を超えた野球の神、といった熱狂的な称賛の声を上げ続けたのである。そして、その興奮がまだ冷めやらぬ中、さらなる歴史的瞬間が幕を開けようとしている。次なる舞台はロサンゼルス、ドジャースの本拠地、聖地ドジャースタジアムだ。待ちに待った、2024年ワールドシリーズ制覇の優勝リング贈呈式が、タイガースとのシーズン第2戦の試合開始前に華々しく開催されるのだ。ドジャースにとって2024年は、球団の栄光の歴史の中でも極めて特別な1年となった。投打にわたる圧倒的な活躍を見せた大谷翔平の存在は、まさに球団を新時代へと導く救世主として輝き、世界中の野球ファンの心を掴んで離さなかった。その彼が、ついに優勝の証であるリングを手にする瞬間を迎える。この瞬間をファンはどれだけ待ち焦がれていたことだろうか。この日、大谷翔平は特別な考えを胸に秘めてグラウンドに立つに違いない。ドジャースブルーのユニフォームに袖を通したその瞬間から、彼がチームを背負い続けた責任感、揺るぎない覚悟、並外れた努力、すべてがこの小さなリングに込められているのである。そして、この記念すべきイベントをさらに特別なものとするのが、驚きのビッグニュースだ。なんと、ドジャースのメンバーはホワイトハウスへと招かれ、アメリカ合衆国第45代大統領、ドナルド・トランプ氏と対面することが決定しているのである。全米中が大騒ぎとなったこの知らせは瞬く間に野球界を超えて世界中を駆け巡った。まさに、アメリカンドリームを象徴するドジャースがアメリカ国家のシンボルであるホワイトハウスを訪れる瞬間なのだ。特に、2024年のシーズンを通してチームの中心であり続け、絶大な人気を誇る大谷翔平と、個性的な発言で知られるトランプ前大統領の対面は、今から世間の注目を浴びている。野球の枠を超え、スポーツと政治が融合する歴史的な舞台。大谷翔平はどのような言葉をトランプ氏に伝えるのか。その歴史的な対面は、全米のみならず日本でも大きな話題となっており、日本中のファンが固唾を飲んで注目しているのだ。そもそも大谷翔平がドジャースに加入してから、彼が球団に与えたインパクトは計り知れないものだった。野球史上でも類を見ないほどの活躍を披露し、2024年シーズンには投手として20勝を挙げ、打者としても50本塁打を達成するという前人未到の大記録を成し遂げた。その功績はまさに伝説そのものであり、世界中から称賛の嵐を巻き起こした。球界のレジェンドたち、ケン、グリフィー、ジュニアやデレク、ジーターらも口々に、大谷翔平こそ、野球史上最高の存在である、と断言するほど、彼の名声は絶対的なものとなった。その特別な選手が、ついに念願の優勝リングを手にし、さらに大統領との歴史的な開口を果たそうとしているのだ。この日、ドジャースタジアムには特別な空気が流れ、 まさに野球の神々が集うかのような神聖な雰囲気に包まれることだろう。ファンたちはその瞬間を目に焼き付けるために駆けつけ、大谷の名前を熱狂的に呼び続けるに違いない。そして、ホワイトハウス訪問の模様は世界中のメディアによって大々的に報じられ、大谷翔平の名前はさらに世界の隅々まで響き渡ることとなるだろう。大谷翔平の偉大なキャリアに、新たな栄光のページが書き加えられるその瞬間が近づいている。この歴史的な日がやってくるまで、あとわずか。ファンは期待と興奮に胸を躍らせ、球界の英雄、大谷翔平が織りなす新たな伝説を見届ける準備をしている。ロサンゼルスの夜空は再び歓喜に染まり、ドジャースの栄光がさらなる高みへと昇華するその瞬間を、世界は今、待ちわびているのである。